SimTheWorld here. We are back with Car Mechanic Simulator 2018. So we got a couple new orders in the shop. Business is booming like never before. We've almost made 100 grand since the story orders have completed. Of course, a lot of that money goes towards our full repair series, so can't always we're always making money, but we're always spending money too. That makes any sense? But for our first car, we've got the Lotus Spirit S1. We got some brake work to do. We got some muffler to replace. We've got some gearbox issues to take care of. But this is our simple order for the day. You guys have kind of picked up a lot of these orders. For a lot of these episodes, I'll take one easy car, maybe a brake and gearbox, and then we'll do an engine repair, which is what we come to here. We've got the Mercedes-Benz W128 560 SEC. So this, all that to say, I don't think we've gone through this engine. I know we've done the 300 SL and the Mercedes-Benz, what was that, the SLS? We've done a few of the cars from the DLC. I don't think we've done this one. And this one, we've got a big engine repair job to do. Of course, I see that piston listed. We could do a compression test to fill them all out, but kind of suspect we'll have to pull the engine. With that, we've got a lot of timing components to take care of. Timing chains, the sprockets, cam gear. The engine, of course, a lot of this we'll find probably these are pistons, maybe a couple rings. And it had brake problems. I replaced all the brakes already. Figure we're going to be doing brakes over here. So no point in doubling up. And with that, I think we should get to work. I'd like to get the Lotus out first. Just come through, repair everything on each tire, and we'll get it on its way. That way we can focus our main attention today in this episode on the engine. Of course, at some point, we'll take a look at the Lotus engine too. You know, all these things come in time. You guys got to let me know too what you're interested in seeing in these episodes. I think you guys are enjoying seeing these DLC cars. It makes it a lot more unique. I don't want to do the same engine jobs each time. And most of these cars all have the same suspension, so that really gets boring really quick. Our full restoration series is kind of what fills my appetite for doing some new builds, doing different things with the cars, getting creative. But it seems like at least a lot of my viewers are interested in the Car Mechanic Simulator series. So, of course, I like to do a couple different games. This is a simulator game channel. But one of the main simulators that really got me into the series was Car Mechanic Simulator. I started playing the 2015 game, and from that is where I then was able to kind of jump into the rest of the series. When 2018 launched, I was really excited about that. Ooh. We gotta take the oil filter off first? Kind of annoying. I think we're gonna have to drain the oil then. No, we don't. You can take the oil filter off, you just can't take the oil pan. Which, I think if you do that with your car in the garage, if you take the oil filter off, you're going to be losing a lot of oil too. While we're in the engine bay here, we're going to take care of the ABS module and pump. But yeah, as I was saying, with the Car Mechanic Simulator series, this is what really got me interested in playing simulator games. I feel like a lot of the simulator games out there tend to be, you know, small-time devs or, you know, an individual will put out a game using the Unity engine. They're all kind of chopped together with the same building blocks. And in a lot of those cases, it's actually, they're not that unique. they're poorly created and there's not a lot of depth or functionality. That is until we get to Car Mechanic Simulator. These games have just been building on top of each other every iteration. There's thousands of parts. There's probably going to be like 100 cars in the next game when all the DLCs are said and done. So this game never it's very hard to get old. There's always something new, something different to try. And it's a relaxing game. You can sit back, you can create something, while at the same time, not getting too frustrated about parts, not getting overwhelmed with what you're doing. And it's not a bad learning curve. I know Carleezy Games, he's been playing some of Car Mechanic Simulator 2018, and he did some episodes with a live stream of the demo for 2021. I'll link his channel here so you guys can go take a look. He's a lot of fun. He's learning too, but he's picked it up pretty quick. It's not a difficult game. I know a few of you guys out there, you've mentioned you got your kids interested in playing that, and that is really cool to see. It's games like these that, if you don't grow up in a family or, in an environment where you're constantly working on cars, or a lot of people these days don't even have the tools to do a lot of this work themselves, a game like this can introduce, kids to at least the ideas of the building of a car, the mechanics, how it kind of interplays and works together. Obviously, this is far from realistic, but, it might spark an interest, and that's, I think, really important. Gives kids a different perspective and maybe something to pursue as they get older. Not that kids today probably won't be doing much with gasoline engines when they grow up anyhow. That's why I especially want to see some DLC cars for, electric cars in the future game. Go ahead, get this back together. I need to get this car out of here so we can start some work. Because this was supposed to be our quick job. Oh, it took so long. The Lotus is out. We're going to pull this engine. I already did the brakes. I think I got the engine already to be pulled. Once we do that, I'm going to strip it down and we got to drain the oil. Yeah, we'll come back in a couple minutes with the engine pulled and we'll take a look at what we need to do. We're back. I'm putting in all new pistons. Of course, I had to replace the engine block, so this engine did have to come completely apart. There wasn't a lot I could salvage, but I did repair everything I could. Just like with some of our past orders, when I pull the engine, I do try to repair everything to 100%. It's kind of the idea. If we're going to this much trouble, we might as well do it right. And as you saw, we had to replace both engine heads too. Not everything could be repaired to 100%. These were just too low of condition to be able to be repaired. It's not the end of the world, it's just things we need to replace as we go along. So with that, I try to get, with every job, there's so many parts on these vehicles. I did do a series about the shopping list, or a little episode about it. It's not something I've gotten into the habit of using here. But that's okay. We're going to go through and, ooh, I need to replace those too. So I'm going to, oh, there's a lot missing here. Wasn't too much we could replace, so we go back to the shop. Now that we're back from the shop, we should be ready to go. There's sometimes so many parts in these cars, can't keep track of them all. But I wanted to focus up on the accessories. This is kind of where a lot of the attention to detail is spent. on this engine model. This is also where a lot of the new stuff is when it comes to completing this order. Just like the other Mercedes DLC vehicles, the timing components are where everything is important. Let's get some of this put back together. I should put the camshaft in down here too. Maybe I'll swing around over here. We'll get some spark plugs and the manifold in. Just always so many parts to do. Of course, this is not in any sort of order that makes any sort of sense. But that's okay. That's kind of what makes it unique, and it's your own project. Maybe this isn't the exact way that you do it in a mechanic shop, but I don't think anyone would play a game that was that difficult. There's a reason that we're playing a simulator game and not going out and opening up a repair shop on the side. There is a lot of work and expertise that no game will ever be able to capture. Of course, you know, being a little simple here kind of gives you the feeling of it, gives you the idea, and again, like we mentioned earlier, it could be, you know, it is at least a gateway to some educational tools of just how this all comes together, what parts are where. We need a fuel injector. We'll have to go back to the store again. Sometimes I wonder. Too bad we can't just filter and get the parts we need. That would be cool if there's some sort of an upgrade where the parts automatically could end up on a list that you would order yourself, or something of that nature. I think we need to go get more parts. But it seems like these are all DLC parts, so that's not a big deal either. The 117 is definitely easy to search. Go ahead and we'll just do that real quick. You can see for the model, there are a lot of components that are specific to this vehicle type. So they did do good. They did introduce a lot. I should get the wires too. We're going to need that here in a second. And timing sprocket. I think that's all we need. Double check. Yep, we should be good to go. Get the fuel injector on. We'll get the wires on. We may need a cam gear. Oh no, I got the cam gear already. We have a timing chain. We do not. Of course, these are always easy to pick up too. And once you get, you know, enough playtime in, a lot of this stuff you just end up remembering. Like, it's easy. The first thing I'll do when I'm doing a repair job is I'll buy at least a lot of these engines. You'll need 8 pistons, you'll need 8 piston rings, and you'll need 8 spark plugs. And that's a pretty good start. That usually gets most of your, at least your beginning, taken care of. Depending on the condition of parts, and if they're repairable, you'll also need to grab rod caps for those so you can attach them. Let me go get the water pump. And we'll keep going along the way. We should be just about done with this vehicle too, which will be nice. Get this back on the road. Fan is 100% fantastic. And I believe be good to go. Get this off the crane. We'll get this back in the engine. We'll need to put some oil in here. Trying to do this. We'll need to get this out of the shop. We gotta collect our money and wrap up the day. Don't want this taking 20 years to finish. Enough oil for you. Let's see, how does everything... We're missing a part. Interesting. Well, there's not too many more things that it could be. Let's check the radiator. Radiator's fine. Fix all engine component issues. What haven't we checked? We might have to do some searching. I did just tear the entire engine apart, so we should have found it. Maybe it's the battery. Yep, here's the battery, 23%. Let me get that on the charger. We'll get the gearbox back in place. We should be ready to go. There we go. Already had a battery ready on the charger. That is convenient. Don't need to mess around with that. That's my advice. Find a battery in the junkyard. Always have one on the charger. That way, if you're coming over and need to swap something out, you're pulling off a good battery and you're setting up the other, you know, the one at a low condition so it's all ready to be charged. That way, next time you'll be ready to go. I believe once this drive shaft is in, we'll be ready to go too. Just cruising through these story orders. I hope you guys enjoyed taking a look at these DLC cars. Going a little more in depth. Ooh. $43,000. What a payout. That's why you take these big engine jobs. You'll make a lot of money really quick. Though if you're trying to grind up levels, make sure you're taking the gearbox jobs and the muffler jobs. But with that, I think we're going to wrap this up here. Thanks for watching as I simulate my life, one game at a time. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to hit subscribe so you don't miss any of the future action. You can follow on Twitter for updates of future games being played, as well as follow on Twitch, as I'll occasionally stream live. Thanks, and I'll see you next time at SimTheWorld.